I'm 8 years old. In December, families around the world celebrate Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa means first harvest. It runs from the 26th of December to the 1st of January. Kwanzaa is a celebration of community, family and culture. The main colours of Kwanzaa are red, black and green. Every night families light a candle on the kinara, the candle holder. There are 7 candles for the 7 nights of Kwanzaa. Each night families talk about one of the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. There are many ideas of how we can live a good life. My favourite part of the Kwanzaa story is a feast called Karama, when families get together, celebrate, tell stories and dance. Families have lots of fun together and share handmade gifts. Happy Kwanzaa! I am now going to say I love you and goodbye in Swahili. Ninakupenda, kwaheri.
It's day 3 of Kwanzaa, and we are so excited to have you with us on today, celebrating Ujima, collective work and responsibility. If you don't know, now you know, but we are just thankful that you have joined us. We know that you have been joining us every day to learn a little bit about one of the principles of Kwanzaa. And this is, just brings me so much joy because it's part of our principles for our Juneteenth platform, where we are edutainment, educating and entertainment as a form. And we definitely feel like last year it was very successful. A lot of people sent us notes and messages, and they were very thankful. They were like, thanks. We didn't know as much as we did about Kwanzaa until we watched your show and your presentation for the week of Kwanzaa. So it behooves me to do it again this year and to make it a little bit shorter so that everyone could be in participation and still get the effect of all that it has. So to tell you a little bit about Ujima, collective work and responsibility, which means to build and maintain our community together. So what does that look like, right? And later we're going to talk with one of our doctors who's talking about mental health and how that kind of relates with in that space. But working together, being collectively responsible. For me, that's partnering with power, and how I operate with my businesses. I have always been working in a collective unison. Not that I may have the last word, but at the end of the day, everyone wanting to have everyone's opinions be placed in some form or fashion in what we are doing and how we are being presented to the world. It gives people legitimacy. It gives them validation that their offerings are not just going in the wind, but they actually have some legitimacy in what they love to do, what they're coming and spending their time with on a regular basis. So building and maintaining our community. We do a lot of building. So we do the, building up, but the maintenance part, and a lot of, we talk about, even as I am an event planner, we work a lot with brides and husbands, and it's so funny that the amount of time that goes into planning the wedding and getting up to the wedding day, the amount of research that goes into it, finding different options, different dresses, different types of flowers, all of those things. And to go from that to the actual relationship where you're not taking the time to do the same, you're not researching, you're not finding out what your partner's love language is, you're not, spending time to think about what their hurts are, and allowing them to be vulnerable to you and you to them. Those are all part of maintaining a relationship and a marriage. And to think about it is also part of maintaining a relationship in any relationship that you are engaged in. Are you allowing yourself to be vulnerable? Are you allowing yourself to share what some of your goals and dreams are for the future? All of that helps others to to come together. We have to stop this mentality of thinking that, oh, I can't share my dreams because somebody's going to take them from me. What is for you is for you. God did not give you something that somebody else is going to take and run it the same way. But he did not only give it to you. So believe that you are not the only one that has that dream, that has had that dream. There are plenty of people who have created, for example, how many different phone systems do we have? How many different sneakers do we have? Like, there are people that were given a similar dream to carry out, and it was just about how they came about it. It's the way you do your thing. Nobody can do the thing that you do like you do it. So let's stop thinking that people are out to get us, and let's continue to share our dreams so that we can help to build them together. Thank you all for joining us again. This is day 3. We hope that you continue to join us for the rest of the week as we celebrate Kwanzaa, 7 days of Kwanzaa, right here, same time, same bat channel. So thank you again. I appreciate you, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Bye. Hello, everyone. Welcome to day 3 of Kwanzaa. We are super excited as we have another entrepreneur coming to the floor to share their amazing business with us. And we are ever so thankful to have a doctor in the midst. I feel like, that's almost like a euphoria, like, I feel so special. Dr. Fazida Rahman, how are you doing today? Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And I'm feeling good, ready to get into, what we're going to be talking about today.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to jump right in and to begin. So tell us a little bit about your business. What do you do?
Okay, great. I'm the owner of Vibrant Women Wellness Counseling, which is a mental health company focused on supporting women. We provide psychotherapy services for women. We also offer wellness workshops on various mental health topics, and we offer social connection opportunities. So we like to host events for women to connect with other women. We have game nights, poetry nights, as well as other creative expression opportunities for women.
That sounds fun. So basically, you're telling me you make mental health fun.
That's the goal. That's the goal. Lots of support, encouragement, and fun and creativity all mixed in together.
I love it. I love it. We've definitely been hearing a lot of that as we've been having some of our conversations with our entrepreneurs throughout the week so far. So glad to, it's like everything is kind of in alignment and, and bringing things together. So to start, what Kwanzaa principle do you think best relates to you and or your business, and why?
Okay, great. Well, the mission at Vibrant Women Wellness Counseling, or VWWC, is to bring the good news of God to the brokenhearted. We are a Christian-based counseling practice, and we are guided by the Bible verse from Isaiah chapter 61, verses 1-4. And the aim is really to offer support and comfort to others. So we focus on women, and of course, women have partners, they have children, but our target is really to support women. Women go through unique challenges at different stages of life, and they need lots of support as they, endeavor throughout their life. So I think the principle of Ujima represents most of what we're really about, again, which is really helping women, not to leave out the men again, but just really focused on supporting women in its different forms. And so we do that in a couple of different ways, but we definitely focus on addressing their mental, their physical, and their spiritual health.
That is so true. So you sharing that. First of all, I didn't know that your business was based, saying everything is just so much in alignment. Like God just, he just knows exactly what he's doing. Like question him. He just lined that so perfectly because you sharing that your practice is biblically based, is exactly like that just lit a fire in me. I'm like, yes, sis, like, because there have been so many people have been running into as of lately that have finally been feeling okay to state that their business is related in some principles of the Bible. Before it was like, oh, don't say that you're, that this is Christian based or that this is related to a religion or anything. That's going to turn people away. And it's like, well, actually, it's going to turn people to you, and it's going to turn certain people to you that you want to be in your space, that have a mentality or want to have a mentality aligned with the vision and what you're looking for. I have a friend, my hairstylist. She, when she first started to come out with her business and her brand, which is about focusing on the mental and physical health using the principles of the Bible, and she does her practices off of the fruits of the spirit. So everything that she does, her activities, her doing hair and stuff like that are all based in that space. But when she first came out, people were like, oh, nobody's going to want to go there. Nobody's going to do that. She plays Christian music. She plays Christian recording. So every time you're sitting in a chair, you're watching, you're being fed. So, and we talk about being in spaces and being mindful of what you're listening to and what you're taking into your spirit. So thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate that is where your business lies. In retrospect. So I said a lot, but so you talked about mental health, right? You talked about women and how women are like the mainstay of their household, of the community. And we're finally being seen. We're finally have a place in the Oval Office. We're getting, even locally in the New York City area, we have started to come up in the ranks. So women are definitely starting to be seen instead of being the voice behind the man. Now we are the voice of the person. And so that is really good. But with that comes even more responsibility on our heads, because now we can't just hide behind the man, right? We have to take on and be the front and center for everything. So, a lot of women are taking care of the children and taking care of the house and working and doing all these other things. Even when a man is present, it is definitely a challenge. So talk to us a little bit about, you said that you're doing different types of sessions, arts and using arts, creativity, group sessions, which definitely falls in line with, creative, cooperative economic, with Ujima, collective work and responsibility, where you are bringing people into the space to share their experiences, I imagine, right? And have each other's experiences help the next person. So can you talk to us a little bit about what that looks like?
Sure. So in the group therapy sessions, that's definitely a space for support. And some of our groups, the topics will vary, but we have a self-esteem group. We have an anxiety group, as you can imagine with COVID. The anxiety levels have increased, dramatically as, people are struggling with isolation, depression, and just, unemployment, for a lot of different people. So the groups really focus based on, what the need is for women that are coming to the company. But that's I want to say a little more of the serious on more of the lighthearted side of things. In our poetry events, we give women an opportunity to express, the things that are on their heart, and we do it creatively. So poetry, I love poetry, and it's just a fun way to share what's on your mind. But we're doing it, around mental health themes, primarily. but we've had creative expression nights where we're using drawing as well, for women to express themselves. We have games. We try to make it lighthearted and fun, but just a safe space for women to connect with others who have similar struggles. So it's all about sharing, what's going on with you, but also connecting with other people who have similar struggles and can benefit from that collective support.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense. And I guess this will play into my next question. So I know, especially in our community, the Black community, they, it's usually said, oh, if you go to a therapist, you're crazy, or, just all these kind of omens and things that have gone around and maybe even passed down through, from the past. But what would you say to an individual who was like, oh, I'm not trying to do that? That's for crazy people. What would your response be to that?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely understand that that's how some people think about receiving mental health, that if you go, it must mean that you're crazy. And I would say, in the Black community, but across a lot of communities of color, there's this perception of I can't go because I'm going to be looked at in a negative way, because there's a lot of stereotypes and stigma around mental illness. And of course, good reason for it. There's been a lot of, misuse and abuse of power historically, is particularly around, or I should say, particularly for Black people, because of, history of racism and oppression in this country and across the world. There's similar dynamics in terms of racism. So there can be definitely a distrust of seeking out mental health care, and this distrust of people in authority positions. So there's many examples of abuse in healthcare where people have been mistreated, used as guinea pigs to find out, well, what's wrong and what can be done. So, I think there is good reason for fear about receiving mental health care, as well as, Black people have been misdiagnosed with having certain types of mental health conditions. And I think there's some issues around lack of access to adequate care as well. So, if you're poor, you can qualify for Medicaid, and Medicaid will give you access to a certain group of providers. Will that be, the best? Not necessarily. And if you are in the middle class and you can afford healthcare, but you can't afford, maybe going out of your network, or you can't afford the, the high premiums, you might not have access to care to address your mental health concerns. So, there's those different dynamics that impact on people seeking help. And, it's unfortunate, but there are definitely some differences that are unique to Black people or African American people with seeking help.
Now, I know you said you focus mostly on females. Do you have any aspects of your business that also supports the male community as well?
We service men in context of couples therapy or family therapy, but of course, the women are the primary target for the company.
Okay, awesome. Definitely good to know, especially as we have community members who are thinking about, and we've been talking all week about different forms of support for mental health. That's definitely been a big focus that we are trying to highlight this season, especially as we have been going through COVID, as we have been going through the holiday, and this is the first for a lot of people, the first without their spouse, the first without a child, the first without their parent, and it hits differently. A season that used to be very full of joy is now feeling void, feeling like a void or an empty space. Are there things that you could share to encourage individuals who might be going through or going through some form of a void as we're going into the new year?
Yeah, I think knowing that you're not alone is very important. That's I think feeling as if you're the only one that is going through whatever your situation is something that keeps a lot of people from seeking help. Fear of judgment, just thinking no one will understand. But there are so many, especially I think within the past 2 years, almost 2 years, there's so many people with that shared experience that have, a loss of someone, loss of a loved one. And I think that there is definitely support, whether you're looking for, individual therapy, or if you just want to, participate in a support group. There are different organizations that are even focused on COVID specific help. Now that, so much of the world has been impacted by COVID. So I would say, if you have insurance, definitely utilize your insurance and seek out a mental health professional if you feel that you need that support. And there's different, like I said, there's some free resources, but then of course, if you want to use your insurance, or if you have the financial means to pay out of pocket for a specialist, in particular that you're looking for, I would say definitely utilize those resources, because there is help. And I think the more you are open and just willing to just take that first step to say, hey, I need help, the better you'll be in a position to receive help. And I think after a loss, we definitely need much more support than normal, because for a lot of people, they just have a hard time adjusting in regular life, whether that's going to work and functioning. If you have children, being available emotionally to still parent, you need that support to help you to carry out your day-to-day tasks.
Yeah, you definitely brought up a lot, and what you just shared that came up for me. How has, I guess, COVID, how has the pandemic affected your business?
Okay. Well, I think, there were some different changes from 2020 to 2021. So 2020, we went from being partially telehealth to fully telehealth. And in the initial stages of the pandemic, we were more so challenged financially. Some of the people that were receiving services, they needed a sliding scale, so they couldn't afford the full fee costs. And we partner with Open Path Collective, which it kind of helps to connect providers to clients who want service, but they can't afford health insurance. So we capped the costs at a minimal amount so that they can receive care. So we were getting a good amount of clients from Open Path Collective, but some of them lost their jobs. So what that meant was we didn't want to have them discontinue their service altogether. So we were essentially allowing them to receive services for free for several months because they weren't paying the company. And I didn't want to have the clinicians, lose out. So as a company, we're paying the therapist to provide the service and waiting months, if that to receive payment to get reimbursed. So that was the challenge 2020. I think with 2021, as some of those unemployed people were no longer furloughed, they were able to go back to working, as well as just more people recognizing that they need mental health support. They began seeking service. So our business has been able to do, much better financially this year around, thankfully, compared to 2020.
That and I can totally see how that that kind of transition, and I'm glad that you were able to kind of to be able to support both the individuals who needed it and your employees, to still be in that space. I know for myself that was also very tough, where it was like no income was coming in, and still wanting to keep people on payroll, and just as a business owner having to make those decisions, and very thankful for the grants and all the loans and things that have been coming out from the government, that we, and I'm sure you, have been able to take advantage of. And even just our circles of friends, where we're sharing grants to one another and trying to see what's out there. But it's a real thing right now for business owners. We have not gone back to business as usual. Things are still, even though they may be a little better, we're also about to go in what seems like another partial lockdown, as schools may be closed when we come back from the holidays, because everyone was around family, and this new virus is so contagious that almost every household that I've spoken to, someone's like, yeah, my sister, brother, cousin, who who didn't have COVID before, is now testing positive. Where lines in New York are 3 and 4 hours long just to get tested. So it seems as if we are about to go into another scenario that, as business owners, we are trying to figure out. We're trying to manage our books. We're trying to, to move forward. And I'm not sure how many of the people you see are also business owners. I would be curious to hear from them also, like how they've been dealing with mentally, because it's an added level of stress in addition to our everyday that we now have to take on, because we're like, we want to and we wish we could, but we're financially unable to. So thank you for sharing that and being able to, to see why those who are able to pay makes it more beneficial for those who aren't, to kind of ease the pain during this time as well. You talked about something else that you had brought up that I wanted to highlight. I'll come back to it. Is there anything that you wanted to share that I didn't ask you about, that you wanted to share to the community, or something that you wanted to highlight as far as programs or anything that you are, any of your offerings?
Okay, sure. I would say, in about mental health in general, I think the more that people can, get to a place of understanding that it's okay to seek help, I think the better off we'll be, in general. I think there is definitely stereotypes about what someone looks like, or even acts like, who is experiencing, a mental health issue. And there really isn't one face. It will look different, across generations, across societies, across cultures, across genders. So I think the human struggle of being alive is universal, and the different challenges that we face at different stages of life, that's universal. Of course, culture impacts how those how those stages might be experienced, whether we have support or don't have support. But I think, it's okay to seek out help. And we have, sometimes we might just have a difficult time adjusting to a change that's going on in life, and we might just need to touch base with someone and get some input, get some coping tools, and we could be good to go. And of course, there's some issues that are more chronic that you might need to seek someone out for a longer period of time. But there's definitely a variation of what people experience, the intensity of it, the frequency of it. And all of that is still within the realm of okay, I'm struggling with this and I need a little help over here, or I've been struggling with this thing for a while now, and I think it's finally time for me to get help, to feel better and to do better and be better. So I think it's important, especially as women who are often in the role of caregiver, and for those of us who work, we have that hat. If we are a parent, we might wear that hat, and then we have family. We're connected to other people in some way, and sometimes it's strenuous. So I think it's okay to prioritize ourselves and to seek to be well, and that can be in various forms, but amongst that can also include, let me go and seek help from a professional, because maybe I've talked to, this family member and I'm still struggling. I still feel the same way. And so maybe it's time for me to seek help from someone else who is trained to know what to do with these types of situations, so I can get that other input. So I just wanted to highlight that it's okay to seek help, because we all will need help in different forms at different points in life. So I just wanted to, emphasize the normality in life struggles, because we'll all go through something at one point or the other. In terms of the company and what we offer, are three anchors of what we provide is the psychotherapy services. And what we would do is work with our clients and help to come up with a plan based on what their specific issues are. And we would, again, take that integrative approach, looking at the mental, the physical, and spiritual health. And excuse me. So for some women, it could be that they just need 2 to 3 months of, therapy, and they're able to move on. And some people, they might need 6 months, they might need a year, depending on, the complexity of what it is that they're dealing with. But our focus is to support women through the psychotherapy service, but we have those social connection opportunities, because really think that, yes, you want to address mental health, but as women, we're social creatures. We need connection with other people. And so those connection opportunities are just that, for women to be able to connect, but also express themselves in ways that they might not usually have the opportunity to do. And then our wellness workshops, we focus on different aspects of health. So our most recent workshops have been on nutrition. So getting a good idea of, what your body needs. And we had a health coach come in and talk about sugar addiction specifically, and just giving input on how to, manage that. We've had workshops on hormones, and just, helping women to understand the different changes that their bodies, go through at different points. And so we're hoping to continue to provide those different workshops on, again, various mental health topics. So we'd love for women to come to our company. But again, I think if you don't know where to begin, I think contacting your insurance company, if you have insurance, and, specifying, what you're looking for. So if it's important to work with a female therapist, I would ask, for therapists that maybe are closest to you. So you can ask your insurance company to give you a list based on your zip code. You can ask by gender, you can ask by race, you can ask by specialty. And some insurance companies, they're better at specifying out, okay, well, this provider accepts your insurance and they specialize in this, and they, there are African American therapists, or they are Christian therapists. Some of them do that, and then there are others that they do not. They do not. So seeking a provider, I think there is work, but if you're willing to do the research, you have to get in there and find out, and as well measure, is this a good fit for me with this particular person? Because not everyone is a good match, but I think it's definitely worth it if you find that you have a good fit with someone that you trust, you can talk to, and you can get the support that you need. I think that's definitely important.
No, I'm glad that you said that. And I was in line with what my question was that I remembered as you were talking, with the therapist. And are all your therapists people of color that you are working with, or are they of diverse backgrounds?
Sure. Yes. I would say the majority of therapists are women of color. We have 2 therapists that are Caucasian. And my goal is for the therapist body to really be reflective of society. So my hope is to hire other women of color as well, because I think it's important that clients get to see someone that looks like them, but also might have similar lived experiences as them as well.
Yeah, I know that has definitely helped me when I decided to get a therapist, because initially I was not. I mean, I had gotten therapy maybe 20 years ago, and it wasn't a person of color. One, it was a male, and it was a white male. So, there were a lot of things, and it didn't take well for me. And, it's what I guess a lot of us don't really realize is that it's like it's a relationship, right? It's like a friendship, a marriage. You get to choose what that looks like for you. So, interviewing them to make sure that they are a good fit and that they have some relative experiences that they can understand where you're coming from, I think is very helpful, and it has been very helpful for me. I found someone who is, younger in age, who is African American, who is able to kind of, to get to where I'm coming from. So even culturally, having a Hispanic / Caribbean background. So, there are different people that are out there that, and it's just, like you said, kind of utilizing your research to kind of do that. And I'm hopeful that most health insurances, and I'm hoping that more, if they are not, are able to hear and see this and start to implement that attribute that allows the people to choose what kind of therapist they would like to have, if it's someone with a Christian background, because that is also, like I said, becoming a very big thing, especially with marriage counseling. I know I'm a part of marriage counseling with my church, and we do group mentoring. And when there are people who need additional support, we're always like, trying to find someone that we can refer them to that also has a Christian backing and can direct them to, verses in the Bible, or just things to kind of support and substantiate their thought process. So thank you very much for sharing that. It was definitely a pleasure talking with you and being able to understand and uncover some of what you are offering to the community and what there is available to take advantage of. Can you please share the best way that people can find out about your business? Are you on social media or on websites?
Sure. Our website is vibrantwoman.me, and I can put that in the chat for you if you like. And it gives us, it will give you a sense of what we're about, what we provide, our upcoming services, things like that. And you could also schedule an appointment with one of our therapists there directly. We are on social media, on Instagram at Vibrant Women NYC. I forget all of the other acronyms, but I could also let you know that we're on Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok as well. So yeah, so people can find us on those different social media platforms, but they can also call us and, ask us, questions and find out about insurances that we take. That's also on the website, and can also ask about our out-of-pocket fees as well as our sliding cost fees. So that's how they can find us.
Thank you, Dr. Fasita. I definitely appreciate it. Any last words that you want to share to the community before we go?
Yes, I mean, we'd love to have you participate in our upcoming events. Our next event is, I believe, the first Saturday of January. We're having a vision board event. Our last one was fun, so looking forward to that. And we're also having a exercise workshop at the end of January. So one of our therapists is a fitness trainer. So I've experienced some of her, her offerings in our staff meetings before. So I'm looking forward to what she's going to put together for January. But we have many workshops coming up for next year that I'm excited about. So hope, people will check in, if nothing, to explore and see, what we do, and to see if that might be something of interest to them. But thank you so much for having me and giving me the opportunity to talk about the company.
No, most definitely. I appreciate being able to reconnect with you again. I know it has been a while, but definitely glad to continue to bring you into the space and to allow your purpose and your vision for your business to be shown, because when we are able to live in our purpose, we're also able to help others live in theirs. So thank you so much as we are celebrating Ujima, Collective Work and Responsibility on today. And Dr. Fasita Rahman has definitely helped us in understanding what that looks like from a mental health standpoint. So thank you very much. And I hope everyone is enjoying their week. Hopefully you have it off. If not, we look forward to the new year and being able to celebrate with you in January 2022.
Yes.
Thank you again and have a blessed one.
Thank you. You too.
How'd you get in my house?
The door was open.
So close it on your way out.
But you invited us over for the holidays.
I invited you over for Christmas, which you ruined yesterday.
But we don't celebrate Christmas. We celebrate Kwanzaa.
Who?
Kwanzaa. It's a cultural holiday based on African principles.
We thought since you were nice enough to invite us into your home, we wanted to invite you into our home.
But you don't have a home.
Our spiritual home.
Trudy!
Oscar, what are you yelling about now? Wow, what a lovely table.
It's a Kwanzaa table.
Right, of course. I've always wanted to celebrate Kwanzaa.
Another holiday with the gifts I hope. I need a headset to go on my new cell phone. You know.
Honey, this holiday is not about gifts.
It's about instilling strong values.
And becoming in tune with our past, present, and future.
Oh, I'm in tune. You ruined my yesterday, the past. You're ruining my morning, the present. And if you don't get out right now, I guarantee you, I'm gonna ruin your future.
Wait a minute, Oscar. I think celebrating Kwanzaa is a great idea. What do we do?
First, we need an elder to pour a tambiko and say a word or two in praise of a worthy ancestor. Sugar Mama?
I thought you said worthy ancestor.
It's easy. You say Habari Gani, what's the news? Everyone responds Umoja. Umoja stands for unity in the family and community.
Why don't y'all show me some umoja and leave my house? Unified.
Oscar?
Then you say something about an ancestor or family member and how they contributed to the spirit of unity. Drink and pass the cup.
Habari Gani?
Umoja.
Here's to Percy Proud. the only man I've ever loved, without whom this family would not be together today.
To my mother for not disowning me, even when I acted like a spoiled brat.
Go ahead, Oscar. Say something. Doesn't matter what.
I don't want to. Okay, I got one. Here's to Nebraska. May they cover the spread, because I got $50 on the game, and I need the bread.
Okay, Oscar, light the first candle.
I am watching the game.
Stephanie, will you do the honors?
Umoja, unity.
Habari Gani. I got $50, Gani, because of you. Nebraska lost. What the? What do you think you're doing?
We're here to celebrate Kwanzaa.
I thought we did that yesterday.
Oh, everybody knows Kwanzaa is 7 days.
7 days? I don't do anything for 7 days.
Except go without bathing. Trudy, they're here!
Kujichagulia, self-determination.
Ujima, collective work and responsibilities.
We celebrate Kwanzaa because it's a way to teach the principles that we must learn to read the world.
Ujima, cooperative economics.
Saba gives us values and a way to show we're building a future we can harvest so the world will know.
We come from the ancient ones, and we're children of the sun, and we're one big family.
Nia, purpose.
Kaumba, creativity.
Imani, hey, we almost named Penny that. Oh, Faith.
Family, what? You and me will always be tied. Family every single day and night. Even when you start to acting like a fool, you know I'm loving every single thing you do. I know that I can always be